Normally, I don't do intros for this show. Well, we actually added one, but I usually don't introduce the guests on here. We just kind of riff, but this is an exception. Look, there's not really an easy way to rip the Band-Aid off the wound here, so I'm just going to have to do it, be very blunt about this, guys. I have been dreading doing this episode for as long as I can remember. My agent, well, I should say my former agent after he booked this monstrosity, I used to be able to say with confidence about him that he has never stooped to the bottom of the barrel to find guests for me to get on this show until today. I wish there were further ados to add to this, but I have to face my fears, and I'm going to have to get this over with if I want to move on with my life. Unfortunately, without further ado, my guest today, Thomas M. Gass. Gass, I hope you're not doing okay, but how are you doing?
Yeah, pretty bad. My boss said it would probably hurt my position at the company if I took this podcast. But
really,
we were friends at one point until every day I had to keep looking at the shape of your head. But I think we're doing good.
Now, technically, I do know what you do for work, but what is your career actually? For the audience, you don't have to go into too much detail.
I'm an engineering technologist. I cannot say a lot about what I do. That's like no jokes. I actually cannot say a lot about what I do. I'm not allowed to. It's a pretty awesome job. I build really, really cool things.
That's good. Okay. And the only reason that I'm kind of surprised by that is because you're actually the last person that I would ever suspect has anything going for them in life. So I'm surprised you even have a career.
Yeah, dude. When I heard that you had a podcast, bro, that was crazy. I was like, this guy's way too stupid to have one of those. And then you invited me on here. So basically for the past 2 months since you told me, I've been trying to actually make sure I don't kill myself before I get on it. But,
Gass, I heard, so can I ask how big your chin is? Like, have you actually measured it before?
Yeah, it's at least 3 feet.
3 feet?
Something like that. But actually, so it was a few weeks ago, I basically posted on media that I was going to be doing a podcast, and then I showed a picture of you. So it was like Nickelodeon or somebody contacted me. I don't remember exactly who. They're doing like a reunion from Malcolm in the Middle, and the original Dewey wouldn't come on. Yeah. So they asked if I can get my friend, who looks exactly like him, to go do it.
And because I'm a G, and because I'm a real leader of a group of people, I told them I'd be more than willing to do it. Something you don't know anything about, by the way.
Yeah, I don't take any opportunities. It's just what I do. I like to be a failure. It's kind of one of my things.
Yeah, that's exactly who I was looking for when I was when my agent was looking for. He immediately told me, he's like, Cody, we're looking for somebody who just can't get it together in life, really has, like, as they would say in boot camp, somebody who really does suck at life. And my first guess, Thomas M. Gass.
Well, that's good. Before we really get started, I did have a question. I've always wondered this.
Oh, please.
How does it feel knowing that they use your head to teach high schoolers how to measure the angles of triangles?
It actually felt really good. I will say that's because a lot of people think this podcast got big because of my episode with Colonel Sieverts or Major Geiger. That actually helped me out a lot because I get a lot of my buddies are like, yeah, I knew you growing up, right? You were the because it's always been a theory. Einstein's actually struggled to debate this question: is it an isosceles or a scalene triangle? I still don't know the answer to that. And before you even try to throw this out there, yes, my mother's C-section did hurt, by the way. Gass, I heard because I actually have an engineering job myself. I heard that your chin is so heavy that OSHA is investigating your neck for structural integrity.
Yeah, they had to come do a few measurements. So when you got that hat, did you have to call and have it special made? Like, are you going to have it sit all the way down to your ears? Or are you just going to have it sit that high up?
It's actually not that. My head's so. Contrary to popular belief, my head's not that big. It's really just like the shape and the circumference, diameter, radius thing. So as proof, this is actually pretty tight. This doesn't even go down all the way. This is like the college frat boy type hat where it just sits. I still have another 2 rings to go, by the way.
Oh, okay. It's one of the first things I noticed when we met up again. It looked like a traffic cone sitting under the traffic cone. Yeah. Just wasn't going all the way down.
Yeah, and looking at your chin, because... I could see that looking like a traffic cone. I will say when I saw your chin, you look like one of those like Antarctic like ships coming into sea, like when you were just walking up to me.
Yeah, just a little bit of fur now, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Do you need to have how much facial hair do you need to keep? I assume a lot to be able to keep that chin warm. Or does your chin have enough body heat to keep your head and
Well,
blood flow right?
I don't have a body fat in general, so staying warm is kind of hard. But
Okay. Well, being Asian though, I mean, I was gonna try to crack a nuclear weapon joke, but that probably wouldn't have landed. How is
I mean, it did land, killed a lot of people.
No,
I think you should start in the 60s and then go to 81s because 81 should be an outrageously proficient. Sorry, I got my words mixed up because I'm retarded.
well, you're Asian too, so it might be a language barrier. So
Yeah, because usually I speak in math. This time I'm having to do English. So,
Well, don't worry. My massive cranium cap I can translate it and comprehend. I'll put it in the subtitles if you don't understand them.
yeah.
How long did it take you growing up to master? Because I know a lot of Japanese people struggle. Is it the L sound or the R sound that they struggle with?
Yeah, they turn L's into R's. South
Yes.
Park makes fun of that.
Yeah.
Welcome to
Hello.
Shitty Walk.
How are we fearing?
Luckily, I never had to deal with that because I didn't start with Japanese.
You denied an office job just to go out in the real world to do an office job. But then when you bring
Well,
up the money factor, like, okay, that
I'm
makes total
not doing an
sense.
office job. I get to build stuff. I get to do some really cool shit. It's not an office job. I ain't pushing paperwork. Yeah. I also didn't want to like just ruin the entire integrity of the Marine Corps by being a platoon sergeant for them. Like, I don't want the Marine Corps to lose all of its lethality because they have Sergeant Gass being a platoon sergeant.
Oh, don't worry. They didn't have any lethality with you there.
Yeah. That's okay. I mean, the Marine Corps gained like 99% effectiveness the minute this guy left. So, yeah.
You're back. Of Eli Manning, now we can get a real quarterback to lead
Yeah,
this team.
he's the Eli Manning of the Marine Corps. Yeah.
Yeah, but hey, I can say this because I've also been to a Super Bowl in real life. So I don't know if you remember that, but
I do remember that. Yeah.
yeah, I do have a history.
That was like the highlight of your entire life. Yeah.
I mean, hey, it's one more highlight than you have. So I basically, I don't know how to put this to you, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I'm pretty boring. I don't do anything. My job's stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, I see nothing's changed since you were in 2-8 then, right?
Yeah. Hey, this guy has a podcast now. I mean, hey, so all you viewers out there, if you're ever depressed, you think you can't do anything, this guy has a podcast, right?
I like to think I'm a beacon of inspiration and hope to everyone out there.
Yeah, to all those mediocre and below average men out there, even women. I mean, women. It's a new U.S., I guess.
Yeah, hey, we believe in women's rights. We don't understand it, but we believe in it.
Yeah, women can vote now. I don't know if you know that, but
Yeah, they don't have that in your native country, right?
actually, I don't even know. Do they?
In
they vote
Japan?
there? I don't even know.
Oh, they have. I think they have gay pride stuff in Japan. They'd have to now.
Yeah, well, I mean, everywhere has that now.
Yeah. How does it feel being Asian? So you're Asian, so obviously there is some level of intelligence, and with you being an engineer, but how does it feel to be so smart but yet so stupid?
Oh, I don't even know. That's how dumb I am sometimes. I can't even think about it. But but like, I'm just curious. How does it feel to be white but not have any of the privilege?
I've debated that for a long time. I've feeling white without any of the privilege. I was talking about that with my agent, by the way, because when I was asking him, I was like, what guests can we?
when do I get that privilege? Like, oh.
Yeah, when do I get to invite some guests on that are actually like, good conversationalists that have achievements,
Yeah.
aren't Asian?
Yes, that's a key one right there. They can't be Asian.
I will give it to you, Gas. You have made a lot of progress because when I met you, you still have everybody still maintains some semblance of who they are. Like, we are still the same in some ways. But when I met you 2 days before 2-8 went to Bridgeport, I met a Marine who was motivated, who had potential, had a normal sized chin.
And and then you met me, had all that potential, went straight to waste, never used any of it. Yeah. That's the first thing I thought about when I saw you. It was like, oh my God, how can this guy work out 24/7 and still look like he hasn't gained anything? I was like, your arm looks like a flab just at all times. It's okay. I don't gain a lot of. I'm skinny. I've gained a little bit. All right.
How does it feel to be Asian but not have any of the intelligence? What do you think about that?
I wouldn't know because you have to be smart to know that.
I am smart.
No, like me. I can't tell dumb. I don't know how stupid I am.
Okay, so you are retarded then.
Yeah, just a little bit.
All right. Don't get offended by that nowadays. I've heard that they've tried to take retard off the what do you call it? Like the words we can use now.
Yeah, we're bringing it back on this podcast.
Yes.
We're bringing it back. You can comfortably call everyone retarded now.
Yeah. See, we're finding common ground here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, there we go. We got something in common.
Yeah. See, Japan and America can get along, by the way.
Yeah. Big allies.
You know, I find that odd. How can you pose to me or ask me the question about me being white but having no privilege? You know what? I actually am kind of jealous of you. You're the one person I think who exemplifies what it means to have white privilege because you're Asian. You have all the Asian features, but somehow you act and show the world that you're a white guy. I mean, think about it. Your first and last name cannot get any whiter. You still call yourself an Asian.
Well, I don't call myself Asian. It's just someone will ask what I have in me. I'm like, it's my dad's side of the family. It's Japanese. But I'm not Japanese. Like, I didn't come from Japan.
You know, Gas supports
Japanese.
the whole DEI thing because he's so stupid that the only reason he got into school was because he marked himself as an Asian, so he got in as a minority, not because of his intelligence.
Yeah, I was actually so dumb. They wouldn't even let me in public high school until someone went to fight for me.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we did try to fight for your people back in the 40s, but, you know, you guys didn't welcome us when we stormed the beaches.
Yeah. You know, this is crazy. I was thinking about this. I've been thinking about it for the past however long I've been on this podcast. Just wondering how it feels. Do you remember when your parents told you how when you were born they couldn't tell if you were a boy or girl because your thing was so small? They actually thought you were a girl.
I do remember that.
Yeah, you remember that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you got your brains very, very large. I guess you probably remember before you were born.
I do.
Honest.
Yeah, it actually was pretty welcoming. I don't remember the first month, like the first trimester, you actually don't recall anything, but the second trimester was pretty cool. Like I'm just sitting in, you know, my mom's stomach, you know, it's like, I got all this room in this placenta. I'm like, yeah, this is nice. I got all the food given for me, but I'm telling you, you don't think it gets tight in there, but then it gets really cramped. And then you're forced to make decisions and then grow as a person.
Well, I'm sure it's only on the top side of your head.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's your favorite character? Is your favorite character to compare me as with my head shape? Is it Dewey or Jimmy Neutron, by the way?
Damn, that's actually a good. All jokes aside, that's a good question. Probably Dewey,
Dude,
because the face you look so much like him.
Dude, I can't tell you how many nicknames I've had over the years. It's ridiculous. Like Dewey, Jimmy Neutron, Pinky in the Brain,
Pinky in the Brain. That's a good one.
Yeah, I think it was Klein and Whitman actually called me that one. Tulabut called me Sunshine at one point. Who else? Well, my dad never had any nicknames for me because he left, so you know can't get nicknames for that. And yeah, there's that. Yeah. I wonder what's bigger. I wonder what's actually bigger if we did have a tape measure or any kind of ruler. My head or your chin?
Probably my chin. Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of unnatural.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I find it weird how Judd made fun of his chin, and how we lightly roasted him, but you, on the other hand, we let you get by with it. Nobody talked about it that much.
That's because everybody was focusing on Whiteman.
Mm-hmm.
or Frazier.
Oh,
I shouldn't say their name. Everybody was roasting those two. Well, they were roasting Whiteman just because he was bi, but you know.
Yeah, but unlike you, though, I mean, even though he did have a couple quirks out there, he was somebody who we could get along and respect, by the way.
Dude, he was so funny. That man would you couldn't really counter him.
Dude, I will be honest with you.
I would try, but I couldn't beat his. He had some of the best roasts ever.
I think right now we're actually doing real good because you've had some very good roasts that I can't counter. I think we're a pretty good match right now. But Whitman, I am very scared if I get him on this show. I feel like he's going to do so much damage.
He is so good.
I may never recover.
He is so good at it. When he called Frazier the Make-A-Wish Marine dude.
I have I need to find a way to get footage of that. I mean, I don't think Frazier would be okay with me putting that on, but that was.
He said something to me one day. I was making fun of some of the women he liked, and so he started making fun of the Japanese people. He's like, you can't say anything when your women can be 28, have ping pong titties, and look like they're 12.
Yo.
And I'm like, bro, that is so funny. I couldn't say anything to that. I was just like, I don't have anything for that. I'm gonna be honest.
Jesus Christ.
He would just come up with it.
Yeah, and what's crazy is there's not really a lot that That's what sucks. Like if you're roasting someone who doesn't have that much like material, like you know what I mean. Like with you, it's like you're Asian, you have a chin, Marines. Like Whitman, I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can make about him being bi, but other than that, like that's really all there is. Like that, and maybe he's like shorter, but like
he couldn't run that well, a little chubby. But
should I do an episode with the both of you two here?
It's up to you. Maybe. I don't know if he might do it.
Yeah. Well, it is up to me technically, but it's also up to you guys too. If you even agree to come back on to this travesty.
No, I can force him to come over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Against his will, because we all know because I'm sure he doesn't want to.
Well, that's the only way someone's coming on this podcast is against their will.
Literally, yeah. It's going to take a strong bribery or a way to get out of a prison sentence.
Yeah, y'all didn't see this on camera, but he actually had me at gunpoint. So.
Yeah, he's actually at gunpoint right now. He doesn't want to be talking.
Behind the camera, the guy editing the video, he's got a gun pointed at me right now. So.
Yeah.
I try not to look at it because it scares me. He said that hooked me was that like the Marine Corps is kind of like, there's obviously exceptions, but it's kind of like the only branch where even if your leadership dies, your standing orders is to continue the mission. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's cool.
I like that way.
Yeah.
Crazy to think, because I consider myself one of the luckiest people on earth, but crazy to think how just because one Navy recruiter was not at his post or wherever he was supposed to be.
The Marine Corps had the worst Marine to ever grace.
Well, not the worst Marine. I give it. I think you were a great Marine. I'll be honest with you, but it's just the fact that I had to waste 4 years of my life with you, and also 2 hours of this, whatever this is.
Yeah, that's everything coming to.
Yeah, I should have mentioned this, but what you guys have been listening and what you guys will listen to for another hour is just 2 hours of my life that I'm never getting back, guys. Like I'm sorry, but this is just part of the punishment that my agent decided to give me.
Yeah, so. You're telling me. I'm losing points for this.
Nah, I feel you. Yeah, is your cutting score not going to be higher because of this one?
Yeah, I like every female that sees this is going to be like, "Oh, this dude went on that podcast." No.
Yeah, have you ever heard of you've been keeping track of like the women, how they have this thing called the ick now, where there's just like that one weird thing, and they're like, "Yeah, no, like
4 years a slave, ick."
Yeah, he's Asian. Now I'll deal with that. Big chin. Oh, you know what? I'll deal with it. 4 years a slave. Nope, gone.
Yeah, ick. Absolute ick.
Swipe left.
Left.
Yeah, pussy. Dry.
He's on 4 years a slave. Probably has a small dick.
Well, actually, I call mine the third leg because it actually hurts at the end because believe it or not, it's so long that when I tie my shoe, I have to keep it like away.
Oh, mine's just incredibly small. That's why I have a massive lifted truck to compensate for that. Yeah.
Okay, so wait, do you have a small penis because you're Asian or not because of the lifted truck, right?
No, it's because of the lifted truck. It shrunk when I got it.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know it works like that.
Yeah, that's physics.
Well, you know what? You are Asian, so I will trust your science. What was I? So in theory, if you I don't know if delifted the word. If you lowered it, would your cock go to normal size?
Yeah, it's like per centimeter of lift. It's like a centimeter less cock or more. Huh. So
okay.
Yeah.
So why have the lifted truck then? I'm a little curious then.
Well, I also have to compensate for my shitty personality. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, if you're compensating for a crappy personality, this is the wrong place to show it. Have this up for a week. 2 views. Not surprising. Like, I'm glad I'm not any of those guys, especially the one with a massive chin over there.
God, man. Yeah. I imagine they had to hide you too, though.
Well, it's kind of hard to hide me. I mean, I don't know if you've seen this, but it's a very, very easy target, by the way.
Yeah, they use you as a terrain feature, man.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but so crossing the lake wasn't like when you mentioned like crossing that river or that lake, whatever it was. It wasn't like stuff like that doesn't cross my mind because my head is so buoyant. I don't think about sinking.
Yeah. Do you remember what's going to happen tomorrow?
I fly back to Albuquerque. No.
So just don't know. I had to throw that one in.
I thought you were smart.
Oh, no. We already established that. I'm an idiot.
Okay.
I'm just lucky. That's all I got the job I got.
Mm-hmm. And you're lucky that we're already halfway through this, so we're almost there through this dreaded episode.
God, your Colonel Sievert's one was really good.
I appreciate that, yeah.
Well,
he made it, I mean, I should say, so.
Everybody loves him, though. He was awesome.
Oh yeah, the grand old man of the Marine Corps. I will give it to them though. Like he definitely knew how to interact and like conduct himself with the enlisted versus everyone else. That's what everybody gave him a lot of credit for. Did you have any good BCs or any like higher ups when you were in West Coast or other units?
Yeah. I think he's a major. He actually might be higher now. It was at the time. His name was Captain Holst. He was a company commander for Alpha Company in 1-1. That guy was an absolute savage. So his like one of the first things he did, we were doing a hike, and some people were falling out. We got to the end of the hike. At the end of the hike, he got the company skull circle. And it's just like, I just want you to know, if anybody's falling out, anybody, we're gonna do this hike again. I'll send you the fucking combat camera. I'm like, dude, I love this guy. He's very big on that.
Mm. I feel like combat camera doesn't have any like. We all have these now, and GoPros, thanks to Charnes advertising that pretty well.
Wait, what?
That combat camera's obsolete because we can film our stuff for us.
Yeah, well, I guess they're called Comstrat or Stratcom, whichever the order is now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what they call them now.
What's the like? Is there a difference, or they just have to?
Yeah, because it incorporates more than just taking pictures, I guess, because they actually have reasons they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not just taking pictures to take pictures; they're actually trying to. I don't know if I should say it like this, but like.
Go ahead and say it.
Create certain political environments in different countries and then here.
They're essentially like our media in a way.
Yeah, that's why it's like communication strategy, whatever whatever it stands for, strategic command, or I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah. You know, JD Vance, that actually was he wasn't combat camera though, but that was his MOS. That was his field of expertise. He was a media maybe.
Yeah, he was still enlisted though.
Yes,
still enlisted.
Was still enlisted.
That's all that matters. Maybe get him on here.
I do. JD Vance. JD Vance, right here, please. Anybody, please. Well, not anybody. Just anybody other than him. But JD Vance.
Yeah, just
come here.
Not me again. I don't want to waste my time again. I literally had nothing going on today, and that was still better than this.
You had no expectations, and you were still let down.
Yeah, I expected nothing, and I'm still getting disappointed.
You know who came up with that phrase? You know who said that one?
Who?
Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh,
you know that?
Oh, so you did?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said I was a great actor, and I had a lot of things going for me other than my big head.